One of the comments I hear a lot is you need to have at least $1 million in order to retire. And while that's a worthy goal to shoot for, I do want to put this in perspective and share just how many people in the United States actually have $1 million or more for retirement. So let's jump in. Going to start off with this article aptly titled, How Many People Really Save $1 Million for Retirement? And they've got this chart here, and they start off with almost 60% of Americans, 58.4% of Americans have less than $10,000 saved for retirement. Another 20%, 20.5%, have between that $10,000 and $100,000 saved. And then finally, there's another 14%, 13.9%, that have between $100,000 and $500,000 saved for retirement. So if we add all of that, what are we at? 95% of Americans have under $500,000, or let's call it 90%, have under $500,000 saved for retirement. Let's keep going. What percent have between $500,000 to, let's call it $1 million? That's another 4%. There's fewer than 5% of Americans that have $1 million or more saved for retirement. Now, there is an important caveat to this. And it's important to mention, the article wisely says, these are the amounts in tax advantage accounts like 401ks and individual IRAs. So it's important to note this does not include taxable accounts. It does not include the value of your home, which for many people as we're approaching retirement is half or more of our net worth. So for that, I want to turn to data from the Survey of Consumer Finance, which is put out by the Federal Reserve every 3 years. This is from the most recent data, and we're going to talk about the median net worth now. Half the people above a median have more than the median, and half have less. And net worth is the value of those retirement savings accounts, plus any taxable accounts, plus any other assets you have. For most of us, it's the home equity in our house, less any liability. So if your house is worth $500,000 and you owe $100,000, it's going to contribute $400,000 to your net worth. Okay, so this is by age. So people under 35 don't have much of a net worth. It's under $40,000. 35 to 44, it's about $135,000. 45 to 54, it's about $250,000. 55 to 64. Now, this is when people are thinking about retiring. It's about $365,000. And remember, half of that for many of us is tied up in the home equity of our houses. And then 65 to 74, this is when the bulk of people are retired. And you can see that goes about $410,000. So if you don't have $1 million, you can still make it work. And how do I know you can still make it work? Because the vast majority of Americans retire without $500,000. So I want to go to an article. It's actually an opinion piece in the Wall Street Journal by a person that I have a lot of respect for, Andrew Biggs. He's got some controversial statements, but this one, I don't agree at the level, but I agree in principle with what Andrew's saying. So his Wall Street Journal opinion pieces, you don't need to be a millionaire to retire. I agree with that. Among seniors with $50,000 to $100,000 in savings, 86 reported doing okay or living comfortably. Now, do I think you should retire with $100,000? No, I don't. I mean, you are where you are, but that's going to be an awfully slim retirement. But let's go on to see what Andrew says in the core of this article. So Andrew talks about how much does a retiree need to feel to be financially secure. In a Fed survey, the median 65 to 74-year-old who reported doing okay or living comfortably had between that $50,000 and $99,000. The median retiree reported living comfortably had $100,000 to $250,000. And then he goes on to ask a really good question. Why then do seniors report such high levels of security with seemingly paltry levels of saving? One reason is that Social Security benefits are more generous than people think. An average couple retiring in 2022 received total annual benefits of nearly $46,000 a year, and that's up from $34,600 in today's dollars, which is what they received in 2000. Andrew goes on to say, while hardly extravagant, a typical couple can expect an income more than twice the elderly poverty threshold before they touch a penny of their own savings. Okay, so we need to know more about Social Security. Now, we all know Social Security is running out of money, the trust fund. It's predicted to run out of money in the next 10 to 11 years. So something we need to be cognizant of thinking about. But the predicted tax levels, the tax revenue coming in for Social Security, is predicted to be able to fund 70 to 80% of Social Security. And I do think that politicians will come up with a solution. Call me optimistic, call me full-heartedly optimistic, but I do think they'll come up with a solution. Okay, so what's the average monthly check in Social Security right now? The average monthly check, and this changes every month, is according to the Social Security website, is just under $2,000 a month for an individual, $1,976. So you could see a household with two people could have that $46,000 that Andrew is talking about. And if you look at what the maximum check is, what's maximum payable benefit, depending on your age that you take it. If you retire at full retirement age in 2025, which for most of us would be 67, if we start taking Social Security, I should say, that benefit would be about $4,000, $4,018. And if we take it as early as we can, we get 70% of that, $2,831. If we start taking Social Security a few years before our full retirement age, at 67, we'd get about $3,500. And if we wait to the maximum age, which is 70, we get a little over $5,100. And this is the chart here that shows you the percent of full retirement age. So you can see if your full retirement age is at 67, we get 100%. At 62, you get 70% of that full retirement benefit. And at 70, you get 124%. If you enjoyed this video, I think another question is, how do we enjoy the journey until we retire? And that's what this video here is all about. 8 things to stop doing until you get to retire to enjoy your journey more. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.